Great. Whew, this time's a charm. Good morning. It is 13th of October, 2025, 24 hours after a presidential election that has raised tensions in the northern parts of the country. With a favorite emerging, Issa Chiroma Bakari is said to be leading according to result trends in all three northern regions of the country. And in fact, my guest this morning happens to be the National Youth Wing leader of the UNDP of Bello Buba Maigari, who himself was running for that presidential election. And at the very beginning of the pre-electoral campaign trail, was believed to be a favorite. He's here to discuss with us the stakes of the election, what he saw yesterday, what he experienced throughout the campaign trail, where his party goes next, and his statement that was made a few hours ago congratulating Issa Chiroma Bakari for what he believes to be the biggest political masterclass in recent Cameroonian history. He thinks Issa Chiroma Bakari won based on the perseverance in that they have from the northern parts of the country. And he tells me if the official results announced, give Issa Chiroma anything less than 70% in all three regions, that will be cooked results. Without much ado, I'm going to add Paul Mbafo on here so that we discuss this presidential election that everybody seems to have been waiting for. Paul, so happy to have you this morning again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure too, Angela.
So we discussed, and you made a statement this morning congratulating Issa Chiroma Bakari for his win. And in your words, you said that you never knew that it was so easy to win Paul Biya, the 93-year-old incumbent president who served for 43 years and was seeking an eighth term. On what basis did you make this declaration?
First of all, coming back to my declaration this morning, based on the different process verbals we have seen, it has just proven that despite the huge machine that has been boasted and bragged and paraded before us as invincible, out of, I'll say, 10 PVs we've seen, Issa Chiroma came leading by much in at least 7 of them. I'm talking about the PVs we have received. Many are still coming in, but from what I've seen, it has been a masterclass. And secondly, I congratulate him for a historic exploit. I will not say in the history of Cameroon or Africa, I will say in the history of world politics. I don't think we've ever seen anybody live from being one of the most hated figures in the public opinion of a country, and in less than 3 months, turn the tide and become the person in the same public opinion who is being chanted as the savior, as a hero. This is a masterclass which, if we are all sincere and honest, every political actor in Cameroon is going to go back to his drawing board and is going to seriously take account, take stock, and review his entire operation. So, based on what we have seen so far, I think we have not seen many PVs coming yet, based on the 36,000 PVs expected. I don't think we have even gone up to 10% of them, but I don't need to see more to say Issa Chiroma is a masterclass. And that's why, in all humility, in all sincerity, seeing what our party had as potential going into the race, seeing the anchorage of our party nationwide, seeing the results from most of all our polling agents that have come in, and seeing the discussions on our different fora, the reactions of our militants, both the rank and file as well as the ranking, I think there's a lot we need to learn. We have to be humble enough to say this guy has taught us a bitter lesson. We have to acknowledge that he has done far better than us. We have to acknowledge it's an exploit. And well, Cameroon is a police state, and the slightest word anybody says now will be held definitely against him. So pending the confirmation of the results by the Electoral Council and then the Constitutional Council, I permit myself as an actor on the ground to say from what I have seen, from the payments we have received, Issa comes largely ahead, and to me it is a mind-blowing exploit for which I really congratulate him.
What do you think accounts for this turn of tides and this rapid ability of his to just gather so much momentum and to win people over? We're not only speaking of the northern parts of the country, but we're also speaking of the crowds he pulled in the northwest and southwest that were unequaled. We're also speaking about the crowds in the western regions and just the general steam that he raised. What could explain this? This is a man who came out of the government only 5 months ago, was defending the BR regime tooth and nail. Uh, do you think this is really just a sanctioned vote, or do you think that really he was able to connect with people in a way that nobody was expecting?
Angela, you know my position about Issa Chiroma. I won't be ashamed to say that I was a totally unbeliever, non-believer in Issa Chiroma, and previously in different publications, I gave my stance. I didn't believe in him. I didn't trust him. I didn't think him credible at all. I won't say that my opinion about him has changed now, but the facts speak for themselves. Chiroma pulled a crowd everywhere he went to. Now, your question as to what do I think accounts for that? Number one, Chiroma came at the right time with the right discourse. Cameroonians are so fed up of 43 years of disappointment. I believe someone was telling me if Brenda Bia came and spoke the same language Chiroma had, she could have won her father. To tell you how desperate, well, that was a joke, but to tell you how desperate Cameroonians were for change. Angela, I say and I stand to be corrected. Those who voted for Chiroma don't think of him different from what I think of him. I don't think there's any true Chiroma believer or Chiroma fan there. I don't think there's someone who really thinks Chiroma is their savior. But people just said we want anything except Bia, and that is my pain. Chiroma understood and connected with the people's expectations. He came to terms with reality. He owned all the wrongs that people accused him of doing. He spoke a frank language. We don't care to know whether he was sincere or not. People don't care. I won't say we because I was amongst his followers or his fans or his electors. But I say people do not care whether Chiroma was sincere or not. And even now, they don't care whether he was sincere or not. They don't care whether his apologies were sincere. They don't care whether his promises were sincere. They care about one thing. This guy has understood our language. He has understood our desires, our wishes, and he has at least stepped low to speak and tell us at least what we want to hear. So I think that popular consensus, that large majority of Cameroonians who were fed up, and I say in every party, Chiruma's cause are not only FSNC militants. I can assure you from every party, Chiruma garnered votes. And then the fact that, of course, Chiruma was financially well prepared. I don't know how come, but Chiruma was financially well prepared. So where most opposition parties kept going. So when you put all these factors together, Angela, would it not have been surprising to see anything other than what we are seeing? Let's be honest here. I know that my declarations will bring me a storm of criticisms from within my own party, but I just want to be true to myself. The results are what they are. The results are what they are. If what we have been shown and if the papers we have seen published on different fora have not been doctored, if those papers are true, pending the official proclamation, just these publications send a resounding message. We failed where he succeeded, and we should own our failure. Like they say in French, on doit assumer. We have to go back and introspect. Where did we go wrong? We have to put the finger where we went wrong And it's only from there that we'll be able to ever bounce back from this kind of a slacking.
So you said many things, one of which is that you failed where he was able to connect. But you had more implantation than the FSNC, you of the UNDP. Your party leader or candidate is also a former Biya regime ally who resigned from the government about the same time as Issa Chiroma Bakari and seemed to have started off pretty confidently. What went wrong? We noticed there seemed to have been a very heavy bureaucracy, difficulty in communication. You seem to have been going in different directions. What really happened?
Angela, I really have to tread carefully here not to offend our militant base. I have to be responsible in my responses and not just be reckless. In answering this question, what went wrong? You made the right constat. We took off with the right momentum. I remember leaving from the Congress Hall on the 28th of June when our candidate picked up the party's ticket to run. Every opinion leader, or most of them, really put us ahead in the polls. And I think that made us to get to slack down. We took things for granted. Initially, we counted on the party's national well implanted. We took that for granted. We took the number of councils, the number of councillors, the number of elected officials we had. When we looked around, we say, CPDM is very unpopular. Who comes next in terms of national implantation? NUDP. When you look at the first individual profiles of the different candidates, Biruba stands out like a man of integrity, as a very sober, humble, experienced, seasoned administrator, the fatherly figure who can really unite and bring extremes together. And I will not cast blame. I won't say some people. I will own the blame because we worked as a team. Our team did poorly. We slept on ces couchés sur nos lauriers. We slept on these past glories, on these success acquis passé, and we took many things for granted. Angela, our campaign team wasn't the best. I spoke about it within the party. Many people complained about it. I can tell you that I even initiated a petition that went round, which I presented to my party chairman, and he received me and in his usual sober, gentle way, gave me his own explanations to why he maintained that thing. I said, okay, I might have the passion, I might have the zeal, I might have the all that energy. He has the experience. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Though I felt that team won't take us to any results other than what we are seeing today. So there was that went wrong. And secondly, I think, and the second point stems from the first point. When people don't trust your team, they can't bet on.
So you just spoke about, and I appreciate the frankness. You're being very candid. But some of the contrasts that I want to share with you that definitely gave Maurice Kamto that definitely gave the upper hand. And I called Kamto because I wanted to touch on that. He was barred from the race, and the first thing that happened was you had your national press secretary come out and allude to the fact that it may have been because his file was not properly established. So he portrayed some level of insensitivity that sparked outrage. On the other hand, you had a more vivacious and proactive Issa Chiroma who, understanding the dynamics and realizing this man was not a threat anymore, was not an adversary because he was no longer in the race, came out without mincing words and said it was a terrible thing for what had happened in front of the Constitutional Council and Elekam before, and stretched his hand out. We saw him fire his Secretary General for tribalistic statements. But on the other hand, we had a Bello Buba who was very timorous. almost afraid of the press, camera shy. And so aren't these things that definitely contributed to your debacle when you look back?
You've said it all, Angela. I have nothing to add or to subtract to what you've said. You have done an in-depth summary of the diagnosis of our failure. Yeah, what were the qualities of our chairman? His statesmanship, his hyper composure, his gentlemanliness, his great tolerance, his great patience and capacity to accommodate extremes like me, were radicals in the party, and other extremes like the press secretary who went out criticizing Kanto, which was to me, I wouldn't say I know better than him, but I think that was a very, very sour move. I think all that he just listed contributed to our debacle. Our chairman stayed true and equal to himself, irrespective about very conventional, very mature, very respectful of the institutions of the republic, very, very cautious, very legalistic, very administrative, in a context where le peuple est immature. People wanted what Chiroma presented. Chiroma made a quick analysis of, let me use the word of abysm of the clientele, and brought the product which the clientele wanted. And sometimes the masses do not want quality. Sometimes the masses want what is the eye. So tap into that energy. And I feel bad. I feel horrible. I feel very horrible, but it is what it is.
Why? I mean, you could see that you were losing steam.
Hello?
That your campaign was flailing. I could hear you loud and
Hello?
clear. Can you hear us, Paul? Can you hear us? Are you there?
Yeah, I could hear you now.
Perfect. You could see that
I could hear you now. I'm there.
That your campaign was flailing. Why didn't you? And I know you worked very, very seriously. You worked very hard to bring more than one political candidate to join Bello Buba, but why were you not able to just align yourself at some point with Issa Chiroma when you saw what you saw? Because I mean, for a good 3 weeks, you could tell that the ship had sailed. Issa Chiroma had overtaken you. Was it pride and ego?
Yep. It was neither nor. You see, I am of that school of thought that doesn't think that only the ends justify the means. There are virtues I will not compromise because I want to reach a certain end. I pledged my loyalty to Bello Buba Maigari over 13 years ago. I brought in all I could. I do not regret not decamping to Issa Chiroma. I still admire the great virtues that Bello has portrayed and that he has showed me. I still have a great respect for the statesmanship he demonstrated. I still have enormous respect for his statesmanship, for his maturity, for his experience. I have a lot of respect for that. I congratulate Chiroma. I will not say I admire his I don't know what terms I would use. Saint Cavalier is a cowboy. Yeah, it has paid off. But do I admire all that he has demonstrated over the years? I'm not certain. I am in awe of the results he's demonstrated. Trust me, I am in awe. But if I went back, would I make the same choice behind Bello, knowing that the outcome will be the same? Angela, I'm ashamed to say I will still make that choice, and I will still congratulate Chiroma for his results after. So why didn't I decamp? If I gave my opinion to the Bello camp, I told them what I thought. There's no point going back over it now. I gave my sincere thoughts to my chairman, and he continued. He gave me an ear and listened to me like he listened to almost everybody. Other voices prevailed over mine. Today, we will only face the consequences. I do not regret. The virtue of fidelity, loyalty are virtues I want to benefit from tomorrow. I do not want opportunistic followership who will jump into my ship when they see me heading, leading, and jump out of my ship when they see me losing. Yes, I saw this coming. I wept. I did everything and I did what I should have done. Speak out, complain, criticize, write, post acts and everything, but stay within the ranks. We live to fight another day. I believe NUDP will gather its broken pieces. It will learn under Bello is a man of wisdom, a man of deep thought. We will learn, we will gather, we will regroup, and we will know what to do. We will bounce back. That I can assure you.
What about pragmatism? I mean, bouncing back, the next presidential election is in 7 years. What about pragmatism? The ideals of great values and loyalty are fantastic, but in a particular context where we've had a dictator for
Wow,
40
I'm not just talking
years.
about presidential election.
You're no longer talking about presidential elections?
Angela, that your question will make real sense if we think that change can only come from the presidency. Change can come from the presidency, change can come from the councils, change can come from parliament. We have regional, parliamentary, and municipal elections lined up in the next 4 months. We have lost the first three to the presidentials. Yes, ruthless pragmatism says that if I see it's not working in my ship, I jump ship and I go to the ship. That shows signs of making it. But I call that opportunism too. And I do not want to be tagged ever as an opportunistic person. I want to be tagged as a loyal and faithful soldier and fighter. When we fall, we rise up again, we correct our mistakes, and we live to fight another day, taking stock and making amends. We blunder the lot. We will learn from them and we will move forward. I do not regret, and I don't think there's a very thin line between being pragmatic and being opportunistic. I don't want to cross the line, Angela. I'm not sure you'd be proud of me as your friend whom you've known way back if tomorrow I'm turned an opportunistic person. Virtue cannot be always sacrificed on the altar of success.
But isn't politics also a question of opportunity? I mean, one of the reasons why Issa Chiroma is doing so well in the polls currently is because of the question he understood the opportunity. Paul Mbafo is our guest. Could be having some problems with connectivity. All things are possible in Cameroon. We remember in the heat of the Anglophone crisis, the internet network was suspended in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon for 3 months. But we're hoping we're able to get him back here soon to continue to discuss the elections. Paul Mbafo is the National Youth President or Chairman of the UNDP of Bello Buba.
Hello.
Who was also running
Hello, Angela.
elections. And that you are back. We can hear you loud and clear, Paul. Can you hear us?
Hello, Angela.
We see you. We hear you. Can you hear us, Paul?
Hello, well, Angela.
Yes, my friend, I can hear you very well. Yes, we can.
That's Cameroon. So you asked the question, isn't politics also about being knowing how to seize an opportunity? Yes, Angela, that's politics, but that's not the politics I want to do. I didn't get into politics to bend my conscience, to bend my virtues. No, I came into politics to uphold them and to defend them and to show that politics can be done another way. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. It is the hard way of doing politics, but that is the way I've chosen. I refuse the easy way of opportunism, of being ruthlessly pragmatic in quotes. I choose the hard way of doing politics with virtue. Will it bear fruit? I don't know. But I will not sacrifice virtue on the altar of success. No, I won't.
So we talk of politics being a game of perception, and we are speaking, you're already looking at the upcoming local elections, because clearly these results that are coming from the polls do not satisfy your party. You have more than 500 municipal councillors, but the general impression in this presidential election is that the biggest loser really is Bello Buba. Politics, again, being a game of perception. In the 90s, he was perceived as a party pooper. And then, of course, he aligned himself with the Biya regime for reasons he has tried to explain, but has not been convincing enough. Do you think he still has a political future? Aren't you afraid that this recent election, this election that is now closing out, could affect your scores in the legislative and municipal elections that are coming soon?
Bello Buba is a very wise man, loaded with a lot of experience, and he still has a lot to give. I mean, he still has a lot to give, and he still has a lot of capital roles to play in the winds of change that are blowing Cameroon now. And I know that my party chairman will know exactly the right thing to do in order to enter history as somebody who was really, truly patriotic, despite the fact that he was most often misunderstood. I know from the height of all the experience he's built up, he will know how to put to profit all that he has gathered, all that he has acquired as experience, as all that he knows, and he will put that baggage to the profit of the people. I know he's not over for him. I know that. We think that success in politics is only defined by having ticked the presidential CV cage box, but you can still bring a lot of change. You can still impact the life of the citizens that are so dear to your heart, even by losing an election the way he just lost. And I know he will be able to bounce back, and I know he will still be able to write beautiful lines in our history book.
In an advisory role, maybe? I mean, during the campaign shows, he seemed kind of almost afraid of being where he was. You want him to take center stage again when clearly it is one of the reasons why the party didn't do well?
Well, I didn't see that, Angela. I didn't see
I mean,
him.
he was reading speeches during his rallies on paper. So
Well,
for a country that has over 70% that is young, people just could not connect to him. Don't you think he's better in an advisory role? I mean, I understand that that's a touchy question for you because you happen to be a party official, but is this something that internally you could even hint to whether you are discussing?
I wish I saw Bello Buba Maigari president of Cameroon one day. I don't know if that dream is already for a Christmas kind of dream, but all I'll tell you is I think my chairman still has a lot to give and still has an important role to play. In what capacity, advisory, front row, or whatever, I do not know. That's up to him. Each and every one of us will bear the responsibilities and face their destinies.
Paul, it's been such a pleasure having you. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your truthfulness, your candor. I hope that you come back, even just for you. I hope that your party comes back so that you can continue to serve the country in your own capacity, in the earnest and sacrifice that you've been doing for the past 13 years. Hope to hear again from you soon or have you back here soon. And stay safe out there. I hope you don't get arrested for making the declaration that you have made in the country in which we live in. It's on that note that we call it quits.
Thank you very much, Angela. God bless
Bye-bye.
you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Paul Mbafor was our guest this morning, the National Youth Wing president of the UNDP of Bello Buba, and you heard it for yourself. He thinks that his party could have done so much better. He congratulates Issa Chiroma based on the procès-verbal or the minutes of the polling stations, the information they have from the polling stations, which clearly put Issa Chiroma at ahead of the incumbent Paul Biya, who was running for an 8th term with 43 years of a catastrophic leadership of the country under his belt at 92. It's on that note, we call it quits. We'll be coming back again today to discuss the election stakes with other analysts, other politicians. Angie Forbin is my name. You can watch me on YouTube with the same handle, Angie Forbin, as well as Facebook. And until then, I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.